Hey, how's it going? This is Rob from Justin's Toys, and today I'm going to show you part 3 of a 3-part series on how to make the flower bracelet. And this is part 3 where I'm going to show you how to make the ivy chain right here. So, what you want to do is set up your loom so that all of the bar pins are perfectly aligned. So you get your large base on one side, your small base on the other. If you have more bases, you might as well use them. But I'm just going to use these two because that should be okay. And once it's aligned, as you can see, you can take your hook and do that. Alright, so the first thing you want to do, again, all of the bands in this bracelet are capped. You want to pick 2 types of greens if you want to follow the same exact pattern that I have. And you want to start by capping a band. Again, start with the arrow facing away from you like all other bracelets. And my chain color, this is going to be lime green, and then these ivy's leaves are going to be neon green. So, starting from the center, using your, I guess, the center color, you are connecting the bottom center peg to the next center peg above it. And then you are grabbing your ivy color, again another cap band, and you are going to connect that peg and that peg. And then you're going to connect the bottom right to the next one above it, again a cap band, and then the next one above it, and then the next one, and then you're going to go back from this top right to this center peg, but one in front of where it ends, and then you are going to put the lime green from that center to connect it to where that is. Okay, then you're going to take another band that's lime green and connect this to the next center peg, and then connect that peg where that lime green ends at to one bottom and one left peg below it with a neon green. And then again, you're going to go up one peg from that bottom left with a neon green. Go one above that, neon green. And then one above that with the neon green. And again, back to the center and back down with the neon green. Okay, then you're going back to the center and connecting that gap with the lime green. Okay, then again back to the center, continue on that, one up, then go back to your other color, neon green, from that end, bottom right. Okay, then neon green again from that end to one up, continue that peg, one up, and that peg, one up, then again back to the center and down one, and again back to your other color and close the gap. Okay? And then, again, back to your lime green. Go one up. And back to your neon green. From that one, bottom left. Go up one again. Go up one again. And up one again. And back to your, and then another neon green, back to the center, and back to lime green, connecting that gap, then another lime green, one up. Okay, again, back to neon green from that one peg, bottom right, and one up. One up. And one up. And then one back. And to the center. And then back to lime green. Fill in that gap. And then again, another lime green from the center, going up, and then another lime green from the center. Alright, and there you have it. My setup is complete. As you can see, this is how it all looks. And what you want to do is where we just put that last rubber band, you want to go back to your charm and you want to grab these two ends right here. Don't pull on it too much because this is actually holding this whole flower in place. You want to grab those two ends and just carefully open it up. Make sure that it's not going to fall out. And then you actually want to make sure that you put this flower upside down. Okay, because when you pull this whole entire bracelet off, it's actually going to curl this way, not this way. So you want it in its natural state to have that curved end like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to pull these two ends, and I'm going to go in with my hook and I'm going to grab these two lime greens. I'm still holding on to this end and I'm bringing it up and over, and you might want to grab something else, maybe like a pen or something. If you have another hook lying around, you might want to use that, but for right now I'm just going to grab a screw and I'm going to hold it together with that, and that's going to prevent this whole thing from falling apart. And the next thing I'm going to do is go in front of all those bands and grab those two lime greens from underneath, bring it up and over. And right here, I'm going to grab these neon greens. So I'm going in front of all of these bands. All of them except those bottom two neon greens. So I'm pulling back and then getting around and over and bringing it back to itself. Then I'm going in front of all of these bands, grabbing those bottom two. Okay, so another view. I'm getting in front of all of these bands, grabbing those bottom two, bringing it up, get around from that right corner first, then bring it over itself onto that peg. Again, going in front of all of these bands, grabbing those bottom two, up and over. Okay, in front of these two, up and over. And over here, you are going into that teardrop on that right corner, grabbing those bottom two, but swing it around this way, and then bring it up and over itself. And then you are going back over here. And this is where it gets a little tricky. You actually want to start removing parts from the loom. Okay, remove this whole ivy leaf right here. Hold on to that while you remove this one. And that's going to relieve a lot of tension from there so that you can go in front of these bands. I'm going to go on the other side and grab these bottom two bands. So, going in front of all of these bands, as you can see, just grab those bottom two from underneath. Grab it and up and over itself. Okay? And then you can continue. So, over here, you want to push down, get in front of all of those bands. It gets really congested, so you might want to rotate your loom as much as you can to figure out where you need to be in order to be in front of all of the bands. So I'm just going to reorganize it. Okay, in front of all of them. Grab those bottom two, bring it up and over itself. Then again, in front of all of the bands, and this time you're grabbing the neon green from the bottom and bring it up around those corners and over itself. Okay, now again, this is one of the trickiest parts, this bottom of the ivy. I'm going to pull it down just to get it so that it's easier. Grab those two and get around from the outside corner first. I always find that, well, fail. I guess that wasn't easier. So I guess this is a good learning thing. If this ever happens, you can just pull the band out. I'm not going to go pick that up, so I'm just going to grab another band, and then I'm going to cap it. Okay, put it over this peg, grab these two ends, grab it, pull it back out through the hole and over. Fixed. Alright, now get in front of all of these bands, grab those two from the bottom, bring it up and over itself. Again, I'm doing the same thing over here. Grab those two, bring it up and over. Again, I'm going into this teardrop and I'm grabbing those two bands, getting around, bringing it over. And now I want to remove all of these bands so that I can relieve some tension from this part right here. And I'm grabbing those two, bringing it up and over, and then again releasing these bands. Okay, so I'm back over here. I'm going in front of all of those bands except those bottom two lime greens, bringing it up and over, and again going in front of all of these bands but grabbing those neon greens. So it's kind of tricky. You want to get in front and then take your hook and go over it so that you can grab it and bring it up and over. This is where I failed last time. I'm going to go in, I'm going to grab it, but this time I'm going to grab it from the inside. I tried the outside last time and that really didn't work out. There, that seemed to be much easier. So grab it from the inside. So on this one right here, whenever you're up to it, grab it from the inside, not the outside. So again, go inside that, grab the two from the bottom, go inside this peg, grab the two from the bottom, bring it up, and again grab this one, bring it up and over. Okay, again start taking off bands. You always want to pull bands off this way. You don't want to pull it like this because you will break your hook like that. Alright. And once you have enough bands off, you'll relieve enough tension from this band so that you can get in and pull it over itself. Okay, back here, get in front of all of these bands. And grab those. Make sure you're only grabbing the lime greens. Okay, get around those corners, up and over. Again, over here, you want to get in front of all of the bands except the neon greens. Bring it up and over. Okay, back on this side. Again in front of all those bands except the bottom two neons. And bring it up. Okay, again, grab those two from the bottom, up and over. Grab those two from the bottom, up and over. Go into that teardrop. Grab those two, bring it up and over. And back to this green. But again, you have to pull these off so you relieve some tension. And now you have enough elasticity to pull this up and over. And this one, we're going to push this down, go in front of all those bands, grab those two greens, then go in front of this, all of these lime greens. Again, this part gets kind of tricky. Pull that neon from underneath, bring that up and over. And again, in front of all of these bands. Grab those two, bring it up and over. And grab these two from in front of these. Up and over. Grab these two. Up and over. Again, inside that teardrop. Grab those two. Up and over. And then again, release some tension. And grab those two greens. up and over, push down over here, get in front of all of those, grab those 2 greens, and up and over. And there you have it. Now you can actually pull this off the whole entire loom. So starting from here, I'm going to start removing them gently. Okay. So right here, I'm going to take my hook, put it in the hole, make sure I have all the bands, and pull it off. And as you can see, that is 5 ivies. So after this, I actually have to extend this side a little bit and then do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to show you how to extend this side again, and that requires building another 2 petals in total. So as you can see, this ivy chain ends on the right. So the next petal you want to make sure is on your left. So that petal is going to be these pegs right here. Okay? And then you want one more petal on the right. So those pegs right there. And this is actually going to be where it ends. So I'm going to cap a band, put it on these 2. Again, go back to my neon green. These over here. And grab another neon green. Work one up. Work another up. And work another up. And back one down into the center. Then another lime green, connecting that gap. And then another lime green. And neon, one back and down left. Another neon, up one. Another one, up one. Then another one, up one. And then back down one on the right. And then close that gap. Okay, so this is actually where we're going to be applying this end right here. So I'm just going to put this up and over. So as you can see, you can visualize that this petal is going to be on the left, continuing this alternating sequence of petals on the left and right. So now I can turn it around and I could begin looping. Again, I'm going back, I'm pulling this so I can get in and grab those 2 neon greens from in front of all of these bands. So again, you might have to turn your whole thing in order to be able to see exactly where you're going. Okay, get in front, grab those two, bring it around those corners, up and over itself. Again, this is usually where I fail, but this time I'm going to go in, grab those two from in front, and go around the inside corner like I should have, and then come out. Success. See, you learn from your mistakes. Okay, now in front of all of these bands, there's another view. Grab those two, get around those corners, up and over, in front of all these bands, up and over. Again, get into this teardrop. Grab those two bands, bring it up and over. And then, just like we did before, take these bands off so that you can relieve some tension and bring this green up. And I'm pushing down, getting in front of all of those bands, grabbing those two, up and over. Again, getting in front of all of these bands, grabbing those bottom two, up and over. Alright, right here, getting in front of all of those bands, grabbing those neon greens, up and over, push down, getting in front of these bands, again from the inside, then the outside. Alright, up and over, up and over, inside the teardrop, around that corner. I'm rotating my hook in the direction that I'm moving, up and over. Take these bands off. Okay, bring this up and over. Then again in front of all of these bands. Up and over. Okay, now at this point I can actually just pull all of this off, and one side of the ivy chain is finally complete. So I'm gonna hold on to this part. No, hold on to this charm, because if you pull, it's just gonna fall apart. Hold on to that last ivy and just pull a little bit, and that'll kind of straighten it out. Alright, so now we have to do the same exact thing on this side. So again, go back to the beginning of the video and fill up your whole entire loom just like we did that first ivy. And I will be back once this is filled. Alright, there you go. My loom is filled. And I am ready to begin looping. Okay, so where this loom begins for looping, I'm actually going to put the other end of this flower, these two neon green bands, right over it. Again, make sure the flower is facing down because you want the bracelet's natural curl to curl in. Okay, and now you want to go in front of those two bands. Use your hook, bring this up, and just like before, we are going to loop that one and get in front of all these bands. Grab those two neons. Okay, bring that up and over. Okay. Then get in front of all of these bands. And helps to organize and recognize which ones are on the bottom. Grab those two from the bottom. Bring it up and over. Bring those two up and over. These two up and over. Get into that teardrop, grab those two, bring it up and over. Alright. Again, you want to pull these off to relieve some tension. Okay. Then get in here, and now you can bring these two lime greens up and over. Okay. And then over here, you want to get in front of all of these bands. Maybe turn the loom around to make sure you're in front. As you can see, those are the two bands that we want to grab. We want to get in front of everything else. Grab those two. Get up and over. And get in there, grab those. You want to get in front of all the bands. Grab those two neons. Get around that corner. Bring it up and over. Again, on this one, you want to go in and get around that inside corner first. So get around and come out, up and over. These ones are pretty easy. Up. This one's pretty easy. This one you want to get inside that teardrop, grab, get around, up and over. Again, release these so that we can let this one come up and over. Again, maybe get on this side so you can see. Get in front of all those bands except those bottom two. Bring it up and over. Then get in front of all these lime greens. Grab those two neon greens from underneath. Bring it up and over. Again, you want to grab these two bottom neons, but go in from the inside first, then the outside, then up. These are easy. Get into that teardrop. Bring that up and over. Then release these. Okay, I'm going to grab these two lime greens. Up and over. Get in front of all of these. Make sure you're in front. And grab those two lime greens. Up. And get in front of all of these lime greens. Grab those two neons. And get in front of all these bands. Grab those two. Okay, and these are easy. This one's easy. Get into that teardrop. Grab those two. Bring it up and over. And release. Okay, and grab that. Bring it up and over. Turn it around so you could see. Get in front of all those bands. Grab those two. Bring it up and over. Get in front of all of these bands. Grab those two neon greens. Up and over. And get in front of all of these bands. From the inside first, then up and over. Up, over, up, over. Get into that teardrop. Up, over. And release this one. Bring this up. And then again, last one. In front of all of these bands. Have those two. Up and over. And then, as we did before, take your hook, get in there, pull this off, and you can pull off the other side. Okay? This whole entire time I was holding this with a hook. You can actually just clip this end. So you want to use your hook, pull, and then bring it all the way down over here so you can kind of hold it more secure. Grab the clip, put it about halfway in, right next to that, and grab those, just like that. Make sure you got all four ends, and then you can pull that off. Now, I'm taking a look, and I still don't think this is long enough. I'm just going to pull. So I still have to extend this side 2 more ivies. So just like before, I'm doing the extension. Again, I have to recognize which side this end ends with the ivy. So with the arrow facing away, you know that this is the beginning of looping. You want the ivy to start on the left. So this is going to be one ivy, and this is going to be one ivy. So you want to start right here with the lime green. And I'm going to do that really quickly. Okay, so right here on this peg, I'm going to put these 4 ends back on. So again, hold your hook where the hook is on the bottom, and then pull, and then reapply. Okay, and turn your loom around so you could begin looping. Alright, and then from here, get in front. Remember, from the inside first, then pull on the outside. Bring this up and over. If it feels like it's not coming out, just take your hook, get in there, and then pull around, and that'll let it loosen out. And these are the easy ones. Then this one, get into that teardrop, bring that back. Okay, unloosen this one, and that'll relieve tension for this one right here, or you can grab it from there. Okay, again, you want to get in here and get in front of all of those bands. Alright, so grab those bottom two, bring it up and over, and then get in front of all these lime greens, neon, bring it out, and get in there, get in front of all of those bands, grab those two, again from the inside first, and the outside. These two are easy. Again, that teardrop, grab those, bring it up and over, unhook this one, then bring this one up, and in front of all of these bands. Again, get over here because it gets kind of confusing. Bring these two up and over. And that is the last one that we are looping. And again, put your hook inside, grab those, and pull the rest off. And get the other end right here. Grab that C-clip. Again, just like before, just pull. Use your C-clip to get in there. Grab those. And then pull it off. And there you have it. That is a completed Ivy bracelet. And in turn, a completed flower bracelet. And there you have it.